Good day, students, and welcome to another week for our online class. This week, our topic this week on social study is going to be we are going to be discussing about drug trafficking. That is, we know the meaning of drug trafficking and the reasons for drug trafficking. That is, we will get to know the details, more details about drug trafficking. When we're talking about drug trafficking, what does it mean? Drug trafficking is the illicit or illegal movement or trading of drugs from one place to another, which is against internal and international legislation of such practice. That is, when we're talking about drug trafficking, that is it's a kind of illicit. When we're talking about illicit, something that is illegal, something that is not legal, illegal movement or trading of drugs from one place to another. That is, taking illegal drugs from one place to another, which is against internal and international legislation for such practice. That is, a situation whereby we traffic, a situation whereby drug is being trafficked or drug is being taken from one place to another. That is, which drug are we talking about? We are talking about illegal drugs. So also, it can also be defined as an illegal cultivation, manufacturing, possession, distribution, buying or sales of hard drugs within the country or across the border of country. That is, it can also be kind of observed as an illegal cultivation. That is a position whereby they just try they plant some weed. So they cultivate, they manufacture, they possess, they distribute or sales of drugs within a country or across the border. Drug trafficking has become a common practice in developed and undeveloped nations, which results to imprisonment of many people. Examples of such hard drugs are cocaine, heroin, marijuana, etc. That is, this drug abuse, this drug trafficking, it is something that is rampant. That is something that is common, something that is general in both civilized and uncivilized countries now. So that's why people are being imprisoned, given sentences. So, and when we're talking about this example of these hard drugs, we are talking about heroin, we are talking about cocaine, we are talking about marijuana, etc. Let's look at illegal activities in drug trafficking now. The following illegal activities constitute drugs trafficking. Number one, illegal cultivation of drugs. That is a situation whereby they cultivate drugs illegally. Like, let's say for instance now, paracetamol. Let's look at paracetamol as an example. Paracetamol is a kind of drug that is being made from it is being made from herbs. It will be after it has been manufactured. It will go to some due process before it will be a paracetamol. But this kind of drug, there are some people that they do it illegally. Illegal cultivation of hard drugs. Number two, illegal production or manufacturing of hard drugs. That is, that there are some people that they produce drugs or they manufacture drugs illegally, like the drugs that doesn't have drugs that doesn't have NAFDAC number and the likes of it, the like of things like that. Also, number three, we have smuggling or distribution. That is, this is illicit movement of hard drugs from one place to another. This is a kind of situation whereby they smuggle. What I mean by smuggle, that is they take illegal drug from one place, or they distribute illegal drug from one place to another. Number four, possession. That is, it's illegal to have or possess hard drugs in your custody. That is, anybody that possesses illegal drugs. And what are these illegal drugs that I'm talking about? I'm talking about marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and the likes. That is, it is illegal to have or possess hard drugs in your custody. That is a situation whereby you are being caught, or someone is being caught having an illegal drugs. It results to these security agencies. They can take the person, they can arrest the person, they can give that person a life imprisonment. Also, we have buying hard drugs. That is, we are talking about people that are consuming drugs now. That is, people that are taking. Let's look at Indian as an example, like marijuana, for instance. These people that are buying these hard drugs, they don't buy it openly because they know that what they are doing is illegal. And that's why you see some people. In fact, there are numerous disadvantages of taking these drugs. Some people take it. They become an insane person and things like that. Also, sales of hard drugs. That is, there are some people that their own work is to sell these hard drugs, and what they are doing, they already know that this thing they are doing is illegal, so they don't do it in an open place whereby if they are caught, some people are given imprisonment and the likes. So let's now look at different kind of drugs or different kind of hard drugs. As you can see the picture here, we are having buying and selling of hard drugs. You can see the person there in the first picture here is trying to he's trying to sell hard drugs to another person, but he's doing it in a secret way. You can see he have to put his hand to the back as if he wants to collect bribe. The person gave him the hard drug and he collected him the money. Also, cultivation of hard drug, as you can see in the second picture, this is what I'm talking about cultivating of hard drug. That is, they will have a place whereby they will plant it. So then after it has now become, like for instance, let's look at Indian hemp as an example. They cultivate Indian hemp. They do it as if they are planting maize. So after it has grown, they will now try to cultivate it. Look at the picture 3, the third picture here. Possession of hard drugs. As you can see, these people, this set of people, they don't live in an open place. They stay in a secret place whereby people cannot see them or people cannot apprehend them. And the people that take responsibility, the agency responsible for hard drugs, we have NDLA, EFCC, and the likes. So as you can see, possession of hard drugs. Also, the last one, hard drugs that have been illegal produced. There are some hard drugs that are illegally produced. Let's say for instance now, there is a drug that is called, I think, tramadol. What is it called? That's an example of hard drug. There are some people, they abuse, though I don't know much about the drug, but the drug is an illegal drug. It's a situation whereby you go to some chemist where they are selling drugs and you ask for some drugs. They will not take that drug from their shop. They will go to inner place because they know that if they should sell the drug, they will be seriously deal with. So that's an example of what I'm saying. There are some people that are trying to produce hard drugs that have been legally produced. So also, let's look at the reasons for drug trafficking now. We are talking about, that is, what are the causes or what are the major reasons of drug trafficking. Number one is poverty. We are talking about poverty. People who are poor without any concrete means of livelihood cannot get aid or support from anywhere may opt to be of great help to the drug bearers. That is, the main number one reason is that there are some people, they are poor, they cannot afford to eat, so they don't have a choice how to engage themselves in transporting drug from one place to another. Once Jesus tell them that if you can transport this drug, that's why you see those people that carry cocaine from one country to another. If they tell them that maybe if you can take this drug from Nigeria to Russia, you'll be given 10 million. This kind of people, they want to do it because since they know they are poor. Also, ignorance. Many people that are involved in the trafficking of drugs do not know what it entails and the consequences of such actions. They just enter into the business just to improve their well-being. That is, some people, they don't, when I'm talking about it, they don't know much, they don't know anything about these things, because what they are after is just that they should try to engage themselves in one business or the other without knowing much about what they are doing, whether what they are doing is legal or illegal. Also, greed. Some people are greedy and want to be rich at all costs. They are not prepared to examine the disadvantages of such action. That is, there are some people that it is greediness. They involve themselves in drug trafficking because of what? They are too greedy, because they just want to be rich at any cost. They don't want to know whether what they are doing is legal or illegal. Also, unemployment. This one is also main reasons of drug trafficking. That is, many young men and women have become drug traffickers as a result of unemployment. That is, situation whereby someone, a graduate that finished either a BSc or HND, that is now seeking for job. He or she is now seeking for job. They now trying to introduce the business to him that maybe if you can take this drug from Lagos to Abuja, we will give you 50,000. Maybe that particular person, a trip just 50,000. The person may want to even have more interest in it. Also, we also have negative peer pressure. That is, some engage in act as a result of negative push from friends who are in the legal business. There are some people that it is their friends, it is their peers that push them into drug trafficking when they don't have a choice again. Maybe a situation whereby you have a friend and you don't know much about what the friend is doing, and you can see that he's having different cars, is having big houses. That particular person, we want to lure the other person that is doing nothing, that is not employed. he wants to engage his or her friend to that particular business, not knowing that the business is illegal. Also, we have lack of self-discipline. That is, a person that lacks self-discipline or self-control will easily join others to do bad things. That is, someone that cannot control his or herself. A situation whereby someone's tried to lure me now into drug trafficking. A situation whereby if I cannot control myself, I won't have a choice rather to what, rather to do what the particular person asked me to do. So some people, they don't have confidence in themselves. So that's why they are misled by other people by following their orders, I mean. So also, I think that's what you need to know about drug trafficking. That is, what are like I said earlier, the meaning of drug trafficking, and what are the reasons why people try to engage themselves in drug trafficking. So now the class activity I'm going to give you now is, that is, you tell me your understanding what is the meaning of drug trafficking. Also, you list 5 reasons for drug trafficking, and number 3, explain 2 reasons for drug trafficking. That is, after you have tried to list 5 reasons of drug trafficking, and you try to you explain two reasons for me. So this is where we're going to end today's class. So join me next week for another fresh edition of this online class. I still remain Saeed Olani. Goodbye and stay blessed.